Hey, my name is Wouter. I'm the founder and CEO of DecisionVault, and in this video I will show an example from beginning to end of how you can use the built-in document automation of Lawcus to sync in information that was gathered on your DecisionVault questionnaire that was entered by your clients, and then push that over into Lawcus and then use that to generate a document. So here I have an example document that we're going to automate, which is like instructions for caregiver documents that your clients might give to their kids' school, where it lists the parents, it lists the children, and it lists the short-term guardians. And then as an example below, I'm putting a couple other data points from the questionnaire or the design sheet onto this document template. If you want to learn more about how the design sheet works, etc., we have other videos on that. But today we're going to focus on automating this document using Lawcus document automation. So the first thing here is that I need to set up some custom fields in Lawcus that can receive this information from DecisionVault. And the way we're going to do that is with some contact select matter level custom fields. So Lawcus lets us sync over the matter from DecisionVault, but when we do, it might have some related parties, but they always have different names. DecisionVault calls them the sister, the friend, the client. That's not very dependable in terms of wiring it up with document automation. So instead, what we want to do is we want to assign these into contact type matter level custom fields. So I go to my firm settings, custom fields, and here under matter, I have several that can receive this information, right? The short-term guardian, position 1, 2, and 3 are here. I'm going to add some for each child. I'll show in a second why we're doing it this way from DecisionVault. Child 1, child 2, child 3, the mother and the father. Because in DecisionVault, we have the concept of the client and then the client's partner or spouse, but we don't really know whether it is the mother or the father who started the questionnaire initially. So by using a separate field for this, and then in a moment, a role in DecisionVault, a helper role, we can assign the right contact into the right role, which then comes right through, it rolls right through here into Lawcus to get that onto the document we're automating. So I'm putting up some, this will start to make more sense once I start using these in the document in a minute. So I need my position 1, 2, and 3 for the short-term guardians. There's a space here, I don't want that. I want them all to look the same. Child 1, child 2, let's add a couple more for children, child 3. In my example matter, I have 3 children, but I just want to add one more so I can show it to you. Doc child 4 is a contact select. It will pick one of the contacts from the matter, can get assigned into that. It's not a required field. It doesn't show up by default, so we don't want to have it show up on every of your matters inside of Lawcus, which clutters it up a little bit. And then in my example, I also have the signing date, the name of the trust, and the age that the common trust terminates. These I think I already have in Lawcus. I have a signing date here as a date. I have the name of the trust here as text. So the only thing that is not yet here is the termination, common trust, termination, age. And we're going to make that a number. All right, so these are all here. So now let's jump into DecisionVault and set up some things over there. So when I go into my DecisionVault customization for a given questionnaire, I am going to create a couple helper roles. A role for the mother, so we assign in position 1 the mother on the matter, the father on the matter, and then the children. Now, as part of this sync, we don't really have the children available as something to link to, but I can link to roles. So I can make a role here for children, which is a helper one, and then assign the children to it. And then those assignments can get linked over into Lawcus, and that's a way to get the children across and know who these contacts are every time, so that your document automation works every time. These are kind of helper roles, so that's I put like Lawcus doc at the front to keep them visually separate from my actual roles: the trustee, the successor trustee, the short-term guardian, etc. So that's where the information will go. Now, to gather that information, I can add this on my design sheet. So I added a section at the bottom here where I can assign the short-term guardians. I can see a list of those children. I can assign the mother, the father, and then the children into these role pickers. I also will have, if I scroll up here, the common trust termination age. And then if I go further up, I have the name of the trust and the signing date. So those were all the info that I would want to get into my document at the end. So now let's fill it in and run a sync, because then in Lawcus it's easier to see and test this out. So on my matter here, I have all these different contexts that will have been entered by your client. And if I open a design sheet for this matter, I have at the bottom here my document automation examples. I have 3 short-term guardians that are assigned. I have the mother, Mary, the father, John, and then the children, that is Petra, Robert, and Simon. These other ones, don't worry about that. So now I have the information gathered. So then there's one final step here, is to map the DecisionVault information into those matter level custom fields we just created. So I can go to my Lawcus settings, and here now, if I scroll down, I have my matter level custom fields. So some of these I already had listed: the name of the trust, the signing date, and then the 2 short-term guardians. So let's add the other ones. So I have my common trust termination age getting linked in with my design sheet field. I have my 3rd short-term guardian. So these are all the links to the roles. As you can see, it goes up to position 9. So DecisionVault supports like up to 9 roles that can get pushed over, and the individual contact that's in that individual role. So I have my short-term guardian. So the person assigned in position 3 on the short-term guardian role can get pushed over into Lawcus into this SGPOS3 contact select. All right, so those are the short-term guardians. Now I have to repeat that for the mother. Obviously then we only have 1. And the father. See where it went. There we go. Position 1. And I'll do it for the children as well. All right, so now I have all these matter level custom fields mapped with for filling this document. So the mother, the father, the children, the short-term guardians, and then my extra data points. So everything is here. So let's run a sync. So I'll take this one, I'll sync it into Lawcus. I've synced this before, so it'll now update the matter and fill in those new matter level custom fields as part of this. So now the contacts are synced over. When I go into Lawcus, I can see all these different contacts that have come through. So the final step to make this work is to go into Lawcus and look up the merge fields to fill in into the Word template and save that as a template in Lawcus that can be reused. So in Lawcus, I can go to Automation. I have the merge fields here on the far right. And when I then look at my document, I can start to fill these in. So the mom, I need to get that contact and the phone number, then the children, then the short-term guardians, etc. So let's start with the mom. So we can, we need to look for contact select field that we've earlier created for doc mother. Now, when I put that in, that doesn't tell us yet what data point we want from that contact. This just refers to the contact. So one quirk here is I have to go look at the top. To look for under the matter client, you can see what the different fields are that can be used. So .name will give me the full name. So we'll do that now. And then the trick here that I ran into with testing is you want to make sure that there's no space here. So it's mother.name. There's no extra spaces. So this then is how the field will come through to get the mother's name. Then we'll look for the other ones, the doc father. And when you see when I copied that in, it actually put a space there. So I want to make sure that there's no spaces in there. And now I can do for the phone numbers. Let's look it up for what it shows for the matter client. Phone, primary phone. Okay, it's .phone. Okay, so copy this. Again, the formatting here will get a little messed up because it doesn't all fit on the same in the same cell. But once the tool fills it in, it swaps out these field codes for the actual data point. So then it'll correct that. Here we go. Doc father.phone, doc mother.phone. Let's do the same thing for the children and then the short-term guardians. Now here for the date of birth, there's different ways that it can get the date of birth in. It can either do it in the common slashes notation or with the text version of that, or you can take the different parts of the date of birth. So in this case, we'll just take the text version. All right, after testing this out a couple times, I've made 2 more tweaks here to make this work. One thing that I notice is phone, when DecisionVault pushes the information over, it's the mobile phone, it's the work phone, it's the home phone. So I made it mobile phone instead of something else. And then the other thing that was important is I noticed that I still had a couple of spaces. So either this would be a space and would have it on the next line here. And the problem with that is then Lawcus cannot find that element and doesn't replace it, right? So so I had to make those changes and look really closely at the spacing, both around this dot as well as that you don't have a space before the bracket at the end. So now I have this template complete. So now I can add that here as a document. So we'll upload it. And then when I go back to my matter, now I'll be able under files to say new document from template, select the one I just put in, and then Lawcus will run the merge, pull the information out of the different custom fields. And if I now look at this document and open it, now it's here, right? Mary Smith, the phone number, John Smith, Petra Smith. So like this is filled in. Here I'll have to do a little bit of work to make this table less big. But here are the different short-term guardians in the order that I assigned them. So if I go back into DecisionVault now to that matter, and or to another matter, but let's talk about this one for now. And if I change the order here and just say, okay, it's a different order and it's different people, then when I run the sync again into Lawcus, then that new assignment will come through. And this is why it's helpful to have these role assignments mapped into matter level contact select custom fields, because this is how I run it. I assign these people on a matter. The client will fill it in. I assign these people on a matter. I run the sync to Lawcus. I open it here. And now I can go into my files and do a new document from template. And that one then will have the new order. I didn't have to do anything else. All this is just mapped, linked, and it's here. And now I have Peter, Uncle Bob, and Victor Schmidt in the other order, right? The other information that comes over is here as well. The common trust termination age, the signing date, and the name of the trust. So that's beginning to end how you can build up document automation in Lawcus and fill that with information from your DecisionVault questionnaire. Thank you.